Hi everyone, this is Sam from Booredatwork.com, and today we're looking at the Lenovo Tab A8. And just like its name, the A8 is an 8-inch tablet from Lenovo. I'm going to pop that open right there, and you can see pretty vibrant color. Why? Because the 8-inch display is a 8-inch high-definition display going at 1024 by 600 IPS. So you're pretty much going to get some pretty awesome colors on this, and when you're viewing your videos and your pics, you're really not going to be disappointed with the display here. Now let's walk you through the device, and we'll give you a little bit more information about the internals of the device. So first off, you do have a speaker here. Now, for any regions where Lenovo is actually selling its mobile devices or its phones, you will be able to use this as a phablet. Yes, you heard correct. You will be able to use this as an 8-inch phablet. And how would you do that? You do have a dialer on here, and we'll move on. So up here we have a 3.5mm jack, as well as your micro USB charger, place for that to go. On the rear, we have a 5-megapixel camera. And on the front, we have a 2-megapixel camera for your awesome close-ups and selfies. Now, on the rear, we also have the Lenovo logo. And as we know, this is an Atmos, a Dolby Atmos speaker system on this device. This is being touted as you know, or should I say, Lenovo has been having a little bit of a partnership with Dolby Atmos, and this is not the only device you'll find from Lenovo with the Dolby Atmos sound on there. So keep an eye out for other devices from Lenovo with the Dolby Atmos partnership. Now let's go over here and pop this open, and what do we have here? We have both an SD card and a SIM card slot in here for those of you who need the expansion. And what about that expansion? How far can you go with the expansion? While this does come in options of 8 and 16 gigs, you can expand this with a 32 gigabyte expandable SD card. So that should be pretty useful for all you guys who really want to use this to view your videos, pictures, and music, and listen to your music. All right, now what else do we have in this device? The right of the device has the volume rocker and the power button. Right below that, the bottom of the device has basically just a speaker, a microphone, and nothing else. And left of the device, what do we have here? We already showed you, which is the SD card and the SIM card slot. Now, what else do we get on this device, on the internals? Okay, while I mentioned that we do have a 6 gigs of internal storage, or 8 to 16 gigs of internal storage, depending on your choice. We also have 1 gig of RAM, a 4280 milliamp hour battery, and this should give you about up to 8 hours, if not more, of really full-on use. Now, this is rocking Android 5.0. That's a lollipop for you guys, and you should be able to, you know, feel really at home, those of you who've already started using lollipop, because you don't get that skin you've seen on the prior Lenovo devices. So you should feel very much at home if you're an Android user and you've already had the experience of lollipop. Now, what is the price of this device? There are going to be 2 variants in this device. It's going to be the Wi-Fi only version, which is going to basically put you back about $129, and you're going to have the you know, the 4G LTE version, which is probably going to put you back about $199. For the release date on this, we're looking probably on the June window, so you should be able to, you know, get your hands on this if you are in a region that Lenovo sells this. You should be able to get your hands on this by June. Right here, what we have is the Lenovo Tab 2 A10 from Lenovo. Well, this is a 10-inch screen, which is a full high-definition 1920 by 1200 IPS display. It has multi-speakers right on the rear, right here. So you basically know that this is going to be for your theatrical viewing. You're going to get really awesome sound from this device, and we'll give you a little clip on the kind of sound you can expect from this. Now, as you can see here, and as I've mentioned in prior videos, is that you have the partnership with Lenovo and Dolby Atmos, so you're going to get that Dolby Atmos sound from this device. And as I said, we'll give you a sneak peek of that. So we'll continue walking you through the device. Top of the device has a 3.5mm headphone jack. To the left of the device, you have your volume rocker and your power button, as well as your micro USB slot over there. And on the right of the device, it is pretty flush. So there's basically nothing on the right side. And on the bottom, I believe you just have a microphone right over here, and that's about it. Now, we'll pop the screen on just to show you how vibrant the screen is. Look at that. That's a 10.1 full high definition screen. But we're gonna unlock this, and let's give you a preview of that sound right now. Yep. So what else do you get in the internals of this device? You get basically a 2 gigs worth of RAM. You have a 16 gig internal storage, and it's also expandable to 64 gigs. So yes, you can actually expand the storage on this device by 64 gigs. And for those of you who like to watch more videos, I'm sure you could enjoy the awesome sound from this device and your videos. Basically in the privacy of your home or in public, if people don't mind the great audio you're going to be piping out at them. What else do you get here? You get a 7,000 milliamp hour battery, which should last you about up to 10 hours with pretty hefty use. So you're not going to be disappointed with the battery. And as always, as we've mentioned on the other devices from Lenovo, this is running a very light skin on it. So you're not even going to notice that it's really a skin, because right off the bat it looks very much as though you're running Android, like vanilla Android. So right off the bat, that's really going to be really familiar to anyone who's who's familiar with the Android operating system. Now you also have a 4G LTE option available, and for cameras on this device, we have a front-facing 5 megapixel camera, and this rear camera over here is actually an 8 megapixel camera. So all in all, this is a pretty solid device. Well, let's do something really quickly here. I did say this was at a Android 5.0, but let's go ahead and look at that. Right now the Android version is 4.4.4. So what's going to happen is in around June, you're going to have an over-the-air update that moves this over to 4.4 to the 5.0 version of Lollipop. And we'll give you a release date on this, which should be around April. So, you can get your hands on this in April. Now, if you're basically going for the Wi-Fi version, we're looking at $199, and if you're going for the 4G LTE version, you're looking at $279. All in all, this is a solid device. And once again, this is Sam for Booredatwork.com saying, always enjoy your entertainment.